Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be a quick update for my Panda palette for the month of July. I think I haven't uploaded an update since, I don't know, probably a couple of months. So all the progress that you're going to see today, which has been quite a lot, it was in a longer period of time and not only 1 month. I mentioned in my last update that I was going to repress some of the eyeshadows, and I ended up repressing a lot more than I expected to repress. And once I realized that I had so little left in the middle of the pan, that was like a motivation for me to use it up completely. And I think that was the turning point for me, because I've been doing this Panda palette since 2015, and I'll link those videos up here. I also link it from the beginning of 2016 if you're interested in watching how my thoughts have been changing and the palette and everything. But once I started to repress these eyeshadows, I got that motivation back in me, and I was able to finish a lot of the eyeshadows. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started and show you how the palette looks right now. And as you can see, I finished the color Midnight, Violet, Mocha, Iconic, Java, and All Heart. Too many eyeshadows to have finished in 2 months, you'd say? Not really. I had little bits and pieces on the sides of each one of the pans, and once I realized that when I repressed them, it was just the tiniest amount in the middle of the pan, I realized I could do it. And sometimes it would take me a week. Sometimes some of these eyeshadows I ended up using them up in just 1 week. It was just realizing that I could do it, that it wasn't that much, that going into the corners and kind of scraping the sides with a brush and getting some bristles out wasn't really fun in the morning. And when I found the perfect way to use them and the easiest way to use them, then I realized, hey, I can do this, and I'm excited to continue to do it. Now for the rest of the eyeshadows, Soulful, Warmth, Soft Light, Sunrise, and Sunset, I will start to repress them, because I feel like I'm gonna start with Soft Light and Warmth, and then as soon as I'm done with those two, then I will repress Soulful and maybe Sunrise, and then I'll leave Sunset for the end. I am hoping to finish this palette before the end of the year, but if I don't, I'd be just perfectly fine with it. I don't know, I just got that motivation back, and that, okay, I need to do my eye makeup, opening my drawer and getting excited every morning, which is something that I was missing. And that's why I wasn't uploading the, monthly kind of updates, because I just wasn't using it that much until I got to that point where I decided that I was gonna repress them. Now, one thing I should mention, if you're gonna repress eyeshadows, make sure that once you crumble all of the eyeshadow and it's like a really soft powder, then you start to apply the alcohol, but make sure you don't overdo it, because I know I ruined a few eyeshadows from other eyeshadow palettes doing that. So make sure that it's better if it's a little bit drier than too wet, because it changes the consistency. Other than that, if you're careful enough to do it to the exact point that it's not too wet, then you will be able to repress them and use them a lot easier. And for me, that was like a turning point in this challenge. Now, as far as Transforming Pearl, as you can see, I still have some left. I don't feel the need to repress it because it's very soft, and actually this is the more powdery or out of all the eyes, so I don't want to repress this one. But if it gets to the point that I can't really use it, I will. I don't feel like this is a Transforming Pearl shade, but I have quite a few tutorials that I incorporated this into a look, and I love the finished look. So if you want to kind of watch how I've been using this eyeshadow palette and other eyeshadow palettes, and maybe not project pans, but Panda palette ideas on looks and stuff, I'll link my playlist up here. Go ahead and check it out if you're interested. But it's gonna show you how I've been different looks that I've been doing with this eyeshadow palette. So now for the cream eyeshadows that I have in this project, I started with 5. I finished 1 that I'll show you at the end, but today I just want to share with you the progress. It's not as much as the eyeshadow palette, but it's still some progress, and I'm excited to share with you guys. The first one is the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. That's how much I have left. I don't know if you can see, but it's really thin against the edge. Maybe the bottom, it's still a little bit more thick compared to the top. having this much product, I still think that I have 2 or 3 months left because this is really pigmented. And for me, especially right now that I'm more tan, whenever I put like a stark white on my lid, it looks weird. So I have to be very careful and not apply too much of this. The next one is the Colorant Metallic Taupe. This is by Mary Kay, and what I did is started working on the top, so it's getting thinner and thinner from the top instead of just working on the pan that you can see right there on the side. I will continue to do it that way so I can, you know, not only use and show progress, but also kind of see that I don't have that much product and get to the point where I can just finish it completely before the end of the year. This is an eyeshadow that I do love, but it's even more pigmented than the Color Tattoos, at least this one in Metallic Taupe. I don't know about the other ones, but with this one I just need the tiniest amount. With the Maybelline Color Tattoo one, for example, the one for the Bad to the Bronze one, I feel like with that one you can layer it and you can play with kind of the glitter or shimmer, whatever it has. But with this one by Mary Kay, if you put too much, then it looks kind of thick and it starts to peel. So for that reason, if you apply the right amount, it looks beautiful. It's what I have on the corner today as a base. Now the next one is the Color Tattoo in Vintage Plum. It looks like I have more product than the last update just because, you know, the pan area is looking smaller, but what I did is started to concentrate on the top. I don't know why, but I feel like if I concentrate on the top and I will be more, I don't know, excited, or it will give me more of a push to continue to use this color. It is too cool for my warm undertone. I can make it work. I have a couple of tutorials using Color Tattoos because of this challenge if you want to check them out. But, you know, you can't really see the progress, but I can see how it's getting thinner from the top. Now finally, I am still working on my Bad to the Bronze eyeshadow, and I don't know if you can see, but now I'm been working from the top as well and kind of going this way, but it's actually I'm going down, and hopefully I can finish this soon. Hopefully, and at the same time, I know that as soon as I'm done with this eyeshadow, I will repurchase it. Just because even if it dries, I can put one drop of oil and revive it, and it's even better than new. I mean, this is one eyeshadow that I have to say, I don't know, I had it in my collection for like 3 years and it looks amazing. I've been using this with different powder eyeshadows and it looks like you apply glitter on top. I'll try to find that look that I enjoy so much with this and powder eyeshadows, and I'll link it also up here. But you just have to try it for yourself. This is one of those products that I'm in love with, and I'm okay having this at all times in my collection. It's actually a lifesaver, and when you are bored with your powder eyeshadows, especially if you're doing some kind of panda palette project, that could be something that can change the look completely. Now, I finished one already. I finished this one, I think it was at the beginning of the challenge because this had the tiniest amount. This is Glacier Gray by Mary Kay. Of course you can't see the color, but it was a really nice and gray color. It does have some sparkle like the Bad to the Bronze. So I used it on top of powder eyeshadows. I used it by itself, and even though it's a gray color, it did look beautiful, and I love this color. Now, that was it for this update. I hope you enjoy it. How are you doing with your Panda palette? Are you getting to that point where you're kind of bored, where you don't see that much progress? I mean, I feel like this is just the best way to watching each other's progresses, to be more excited about our own palettes and to kind of I don't know, get inspired to use the eyeshadows. As I mentioned before, I was in that kind of rut where I just didn't enjoy the eyeshadows, but then I started to repress them. It just something needs to change in order for you to get your excitement back. The repressing of the eyeshadows was the thing that it worked for me. The kind of layering cream eyeshadows on top of powder eyeshadows was another thing that it really changed my perspective on this challenge. So if you are kind of stuck, try different things, and hopefully, you know, you'll find something that is going to work for you and that it's going to help you get motivated to finish those eyeshadows. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.